Have you ever wondered how our body processes fats? This is where the fascinating world of lipid metabolism comes into play. Lipid metabolism, in essence, is our body's method of handling the creation and degradation of fats. Now you might be thinking, but aren't fats bad for us? Well, not quite. You see, fats play a vital role in our bodies. They are an important source of energy, providing more than twice the energy per gram compared to proteins and carbohydrates. They also serve as building blocks for cell membranes and hormones, as well as insulating and protecting our vital organs. The process of lipid metabolism ensures these fats are efficiently produced, utilized, and broken down. This delicate balance helps keep our bodies functioning optimally, so fats aren't our enemy but a crucial element of our body's functioning. But how does this process actually work? Let's dive in. Triglycerides, the main form of fat stored in our body, have a unique journey. In essence, triglycerides are composed of one molecule of glycerol and 3 molecules of fatty acids. Their metabolism process, which is quite a marvel of biochemistry, involves intricate steps and players. Let's embark on this journey. It all begins with lipolysis, the process of breaking down triglycerides. This process takes place primarily in the adipose tissue, our body's fat storage site. Triglycerides are not water-soluble and cannot freely circulate in the bloodstream, so they are packaged into lipoproteins for transportation. Once they reach their destination, they encounter lipid-specific enzymes. The first one is lipoprotein lipase, an enzyme that resides on the inner walls of blood vessels. This enzyme breaks down triglycerides into free fatty acids and glycerol, a process known as hydrolysis. Free fatty acids, once liberated, can enter cells where they are used as an energy source. This is where beta-oxidation comes into play, but we will delve into that in the next scene. As for glycerol, it has its own path. It travels to the liver, where it can be converted into glucose through a process called gluconeogenesis, or be utilized in the glycolytic pathway to produce energy. Hormones also play a critical role in triglyceride metabolism. When we eat, insulin is secreted. Insulin inhibits lipolysis and promotes fat storage. On the flip side, when we're fasting or exercising, glucagon and adrenaline are released. These hormones stimulate lipolysis, leading to the release of free fatty acids for energy production. It's a well-coordinated dance of biochemistry, isn't it? Triglycerides are constantly being broken down and resynthesized according to the body's energy needs. This process is crucial for maintaining energy balance in our bodies. The journey of triglycerides is quite fascinating, isn't it? But what happens next? Stay tuned to find out. Let's dive into the world of beta-oxidation in our next scene. After triglycerides are broken down, fatty acids embark on their own adventure. This journey is known as beta-oxidation, a process that takes place within the mitochondria, often referred to as the powerhouse of the cell. But why the name beta-oxidation? It's because the second carbon atom in the chain, also known as the beta carbon, is the one that gets oxidized in this process. Picture the fatty acid as a long chain. This chain is methodically chopped into 2 carbon fragments in a series of chemical reactions. Each fragment, known as an acetyl-CoA, is then fed into another metabolic process called the citric acid cycle or Krebs cycle. Now you might be thinking, what do we get out of chopping up these fatty acids? Well, the answer is energy, and lots of it. The process of beta-oxidation and the subsequent citric acid cycle generates ATP, which is essentially the currency of energy within our cells. ATP powers virtually every activity of the cell and, by extension, our entire body. Each round of beta-oxidation produces 1 molecule of acetyl-CoA, 1 molecule of FAD2, and 1 molecule of NADH. FAD2 and NADH are like energy-filled gift cards that get cashed in during the final stage of cellular respiration, known as the electron transport chain, to produce even more ATP. But what happens when the fatty acid chain is fully chopped up? Well, it depends on the length of the chain. If it started with an even number of carbons, the process ends with 2 acetyl-CoA molecules. If it started with an odd number, it ends with 1 acetyl-CoA and a 3-carbon molecule called propionyl-CoA. So fatty acids aren't just tossed aside, they're put to good use. But where do ketone bodies come into play? Well, that's a story for the next part of our journey into lipid metabolism. Stay tuned. When our body runs low on glucose, it turns to ketone bodies, a special kind of fuel. Now you might be wondering, what are these ketone bodies and how do they form? Let's dive in. The formation of ketone bodies begins with acetyl-CoA, a product of beta-oxidation of fatty acids. When the body's supply of glucose is running low, the liver increases the rate of beta oxidation, which leads to an increase in acetyl-CoA levels. However, when there's more acetyl-CoA than the citric acid cycle can handle, it's like a traffic jam on the metabolic highway. So what does the body do with this excess acetyl-CoA? It converts it into ketone bodies. This process, known as ketogenesis, primarily takes place in the liver's mitochondria. The three types of ketone bodies that are produced are acetoacetate, beta-hydroxybutyrate, and the spontaneously formed acetone. But how are these ketone bodies used for energy? Well, that's where the magic happens. When glucose levels are low, the brain, which usually relies heavily on glucose for energy, starts to use ketone bodies instead. This is crucial because, unlike other tissues, the brain can't use fatty acids directly for energy due to the blood-brain barrier. Ketone bodies are transported from the liver to other tissues, where they are converted back into acetyl-CoA to enter the citric acid cycle and generate ATP, the body's main energy currency. This process of converting ketone bodies back to acetyl-CoA is called ketolysis, and it ensures that our brain and other tissues don't run out of fuel, even when glucose is scarce. But remember, while ketone bodies can be lifesavers during periods of fasting or intense exercise, their levels need to be carefully regulated. If too many ketone bodies accumulate in the blood, it can lead to a dangerous condition called ketoacidosis, which is often seen in untreated type 1 diabetes. Ketone bodies are truly a lifesaver in times of energy crisis, but what about cholesterol? Let's explore that next. Cholesterol, often vilified, is actually a vital component of our cells. It's a bit like that misunderstood character in your favorite drama series. You may not realize it, but cholesterol is pulling a lot of strings behind the scenes. It's the unsung hero of our bodies, present in every cell and playing a crucial role in maintaining the integrity and fluidity of cell membranes. But that's not all. Cholesterol is also the precursor to all steroid hormones. Yes, you heard it right. Your body needs cholesterol to make hormones like cortisol, which helps your body respond to stress, and aldosterone, which helps control blood pressure. Sex hormones like testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone also owe their existence to cholesterol. And let's not forget vitamin D, that essential nutrient we get from the sun. It's synthesized in our body from cholesterol. Now let's talk about the two types of cholesterol: high-density lipoprotein or HDL and low-density lipoprotein or LDL. HDL is often called the good cholesterol. Why, you ask? Well, HDL acts like a maintenance crew for the inner walls of blood vessels. It scrubs them clean of excess cholesterol, preventing the formation of plaques that can lead to heart attacks or strokes. On the other hand, LDL, often dubbed as bad cholesterol, does the opposite. It's like that unruly kid who leaves a mess wherever they go. If there's too much LDL in the body, it can deposit cholesterol on the walls of the blood vessels, leading to plaque formation. But remember, just like there's no such thing as a completely good or bad character in a drama, the same goes for cholesterol. The key is balance. Too much LDL or too little HDL can tip this balance, leading to health issues. See, cholesterol isn't all bad, it's all about balance. And that's what lipid metabolism is about: balance and efficiency. So, we've journeyed through the complex world of lipid metabolism. We've seen how our bodies masterfully break down triglycerides, the main form of fat in our bodies, into fatty acids and glycerol. We've also dived into the fascinating process of beta oxidation, where our bodies convert these fatty acids into energy. We've explored the formation and utilization of ketone bodies, an alternative energy source our bodies tap into when glucose levels are low. And we've delved into the dynamic world of cholesterol, a vital substance that plays a crucial role in the formation of cell membranes and hormones, but can also lead to health issues if unregulated. Remember, while fats often get a bad rep, they're essential for our bodies to function optimally. They're not just energy reserves or unwanted weight, they're a dynamic part of our biochemistry. And that's a wrap on lipid metabolism. Intriguing, wasn't it? Subscribe for more because you won't find me later.